Greetings, fellow friends, and welcome back to XR Mews.
That's right.
Today, we're going to be unraveling the latest yarn ball of XR news.
Yes.
We've got a whole litter box full of recent developments to unpack, so let's get right to it.
Absolutely.
First up, Meta.
Uh-huh.
Looks like they've been busy as a cat in the laser pointer factory.
Indeed they have. Particularly when it comes to their strategy for the Quest platform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that stat about free-to-play content?
You mean the one where free-to-play apps now account for a whopping 70% of time spent in Quest headsets?
That's the one.
Yeah, they caught my eye.
It's a fascinating shift. And while it might boost user engagement in the short term, it's raising some whiskers among developers who rely on paid apps for revenue.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Upload VR had a great report highlighting those concerns.
Yeah, several developers express worries about discoverability and the potential impact on their bottom line.
Right.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
Especially considering Samantha Ryan's response in Meta's blog post,
Yeah.
where she acknowledged the trend, but emphasized the growth of in-app purchases.
It's a delicate balancing act, for sure. Meta wants to attract a wider audience with free content, but they also need to ensure that developers can thrive and continue creating high-quality experiences.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the long run.
Speaking of attracting a wider audience, Meta is also investing another $50 million in Horizon World creators.
Oh, wow.
Focusing on bringing new services, brands, and even mobile-focused content into the mix.
It's a clear indication of their ambition to make Horizon Worlds the go-to destination for metaverse experiences. By catering to a broader range of interests and making it accessible on multiple devices, including smartphones, they're hoping to attract a much larger user base.
Makes sense. More accessible entry points could definitely lure more users into the metaverse fold. And on the enterprise side, they're also rolling out Meta Horizon managed services to simplify Quest deployment for businesses.
Exactly. They're trying to make it easier for companies to jump on the metaverse bandwagon, streamlining the process and removing potential barriers to adoption.
Smart. But before we get too lost in the metaverse maze, Meta also made a decision that's causing some hissing and spitting.
Oh.
They're discontinuing the Move fitness tracking feature on Quest. They cited legacy technology as the reason and hinted at more advanced features in the future. For now, it feels like a step back for those who rely on Move for their VR workouts.
Interesting.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what Meta has up its sleeve for fitness down the line. But enough about Meta for now. Let's shift gears and talk about some exciting new hardware.
Yes. Get your claws ready for this one because we've got some juicy tidbits to share, starting with Valve's Deckard headset. The rumor mill has been churning, and thanks to the ever-reliable Gabe Follower and John Digdillen's insightful X posts, we finally have some potential details.
Yeah, a big shout out to them for keeping us in the loop. So rumor has it Deckard could be launching by the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
With a price tag around $1,200.
Okay.
Wireless standalone capabilities, running SteamOS, and possibly even some first-party games or demos bundled in.
Nice.
It's shaping up to be a perfect storm of VR goodness.
If those rumors hold true, Deckard could be a formidable contender in the VR market. Wireless freedom, a powerful operating system, and potentially compelling content. It sounds like a recipe for success, especially among PCVR enthusiasts.
And don't forget about those leaked models of the Roy controllers, gamepad functionality in VR. That's a sleek way to bridge the gap between VR and traditional gaming, making it even more appealing to a wider audience.
It certainly raises some intriguing questions. How will Deckard compete with MetaQuest? Will it carve out its own niche, or could it potentially challenge Meta's dominance in the VR market? Only time will tell. But while we wait for those answers, let's hop across the pond to China, where Rokid's AR smart glasses are making quite a splash, literally. Their recent demonstration has taken social media by storm, and it's easy to see why. Seeing Misa Zhu Mingming seamlessly control his presentation with a smart ring and having his speech notes projected directly onto the glasses, it's a captivating glimpse into the future of AR.
It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, and it's got everyone buzzing about the potential of AR for everyday tasks and presentations.
Absolutely. It's worth drawing comparisons to Meta's Orion prototype, which is still shrouded in secrecy. Rokid's demonstration, while impressive, seems more grounded in reality, and their focus on enterprise applications is a smart move. They're showcasing practical uses that could have a real impact on various industries.
Speaking of practical applications, Samsung is also pawing its way into the XR arena with some exciting new technology that could revolutionize headset design.
yes, their newly developed Metalens technology. It's a potential game changer. By manipulating light at the nanoscale, these metal lenses could lead to lighter, more compact headsets with higher resolution displays.
Which means more comfort for us users.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love a lighter headset? Plus, improved resolution means sharper visuals and a more immersive experience. It's a win-win situation.
Precisely. This development could be a significant step towards making XR headsets more appealing to a wider audience, addressing one of the key barriers to adoption comfort and aesthetics.
Now that's something to get excited about. But before we wrap up this hardware highlight reel, let's talk about something truly groundbreaking. The WEART TouchDIVER Haptic Gloves.
I knew you wouldn't forget about those. They're truly remarkable. Imagine realistic force feedback texture rendering and even thermal cues all packed into a pair of gloves. It's like reaching out and touching the digital world.
The implications for industries like healthcare and industrial training are immense. Surgeons could practice complex procedures with lifelike tactile feedback. Engineers could manipulate virtual prototypes with a sense of touch, and artists could sculpt in a virtual world. It's a game changer.
And it's exciting to see companies like Knoxlabs paving the way, offering demo kits so businesses and educational institutions can get their paws on this innovative tech. They're helping to bridge the gap between cutting-edge technology and real-world applications.
It's all about breaking down those barriers and making XR accessible to everyone. And speaking of breaking down barriers, let's pause here for a moment and take a quick cat nap. We'll be back soon with more meowgical insights from the world of XR.
Welcome back, fellow friends. I trust your cat naps were filled with delightful dreams of virtual catnip and laser pointer chases.
Oh, absolutely. I'm feeling refreshed and ready to paw through some more XR news.
Great.
What's next on our agenda?
Well, let's circle back to that discussion about free-to-play apps on Quest and their impact on the XR market. Remember those concerns we had about discoverability and revenue for paid apps?
Yeah.
Well, it seems John Dagdalin has been doing some digging, and his findings add another layer to this complex puzzle.
Well, this is getting interesting.
Big shout out to John for his insights.
Absolutely. So what did he uncover?
Well, he pointed out that while free-to-play games dominate playtime on Quest headsets, accounting for 70% of time spent, they only generate about 30% of the revenue. Yeah. And generally speaking, when you look at revenue per player hour, free-to-play games don't monetize as effectively as paid games.
That makes sense. Free-to-play games often rely on microtransactions or subscriptions, which can be a slower burn compared to upfront purchases.
Right.
But what does this mean for developers who are pouring their hearts and souls into those amazing paid XR experiences?
It's a valid question, and one that's likely causing some anxiety among those who are trying to build sustainable businesses in the XR space. This trend could lead to a greater emphasis on in-app purchases and alternative monetization strategies, even for games originally designed as premium experiences.
Makes sense.
It's a delicate balancing act for developers.
For sure. They need to find ways to make their games financially viable while still delivering those perfectly engaging experiences for players. And speaking of the XR landscape and financial viability, Arian Ghashghai has also shared some astute observations on VR investment and Meta's role in it.
Oh.
Big shout out to Arian for keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, his insights are always valuable.
They are.
So he highlighted a significant challenge for VR startups, which he calls platform risk.
Okay.
Essentially, he believes that Meta's current approach creates an environment where it's difficult for third-party developers to thrive, particularly those seeking venture capital funding.
So you're saying relying heavily on Meta's platform could be a risky proposition for a young company, especially if they're aiming for long-term growth and profitability.
Exactly. Arian even stated that his venture capital firm would now primarily focus on two types of VR companies: those with valuable VR-native intellectual property and those that are defragmenting value created in enterprise VR.
It's a bold statement, but it reflects a growing concern within the VR community. Until there's more competition and a more levered playing field in the VR market, it's going to be a challenge for companies outside of Meta's sphere of influence to attract significant investment and truly flourish.
I think you're right. And it ties into another intriguing point that Arian made.
What's that?
The best IP for VR is VR native. What did you think of that statement?
I think he's onto something. Think about games like Gorilla Tag and Animal Company. They've captured the hearts of VR enthusiasts with their unique gameplay that's specifically designed for the medium.
Right.
They're not just adaptations of existing franchises, they're experiences born and raised in the virtual world.
Exactly. And while those big budget adaptations of titles like Alien and Metro have certainly made a splash, their impact on VR adoption and engagement pales in comparison to these VR native gems.
I agree. It's about creating experiences that truly embrace the unique capabilities of VR and offer something truly special.
I think you're right.
Speaking of creating special experiences, let's circle back to those incredible WEART TouchDIVER Gloves. Just the thought of being able to feel virtual objects with realistic force feedback texture and even temperature makes my whiskers tingle with excitement.
I can certainly understand your enthusiasm. It's a revolutionary advancement that opens up a whole new dimension of possibilities for VR interaction and immersion. It's no longer just about seeing and hearing, it's about touching and feeling the virtual world as if it were real.
It really is. The implications are far-reaching, extending beyond gaming into fields like healthcare, industrial training, and even art. Imagine surgeons practicing delicate procedures with lifelike tactile feedback engineers, manipulating virtual prototypes with a sense of touch, or artists sculpting in a virtual world, feeling the resistance of the digital clay beneath their fingers.
It's a testament to the power of XR to transform how we work, learn, and play. And it's exciting to see companies like Knoxlabs stepping up to make these technologies more accessible. Their XR Marketplace and Demo Kit programs are playing a crucial role in helping businesses and educational institutions navigate the world of XR and find the perfect solutions to fit their needs.
Absolutely. They're not just selling hardware. They're curating an experience, offering guidance and connecting organizations with the right software and solutions. They're fostering a thriving ecosystem for XR adoption and innovation.
Well said. It seems like the future of XR is looking bright, wouldn't you say?
I'd say it's looking positively brilliant. But before we get too carried away with all the excitement, I think it's time for another quick cat nap to recharge our batteries.
A splendid idea. We'll be back soon with more insightful meowsings from the ever-evolving world of XR. Stay tuned, fellow friends.
Welcome back, fellow ferns. Did you stretch your claws and fluff your tails during that cat nap?
I hope so.
We've got one last litter box of XR news to sift through before we sign off for the day.
Indeed we do. This one is all about accessibility, inclusivity, and breaking down those barriers that keep some curious cats from experiencing the wonders of XR.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. So HTC has made a significant move with their Viverse Worlds platform. You can now access it in VR directly through your web browser thanks to the magic of WebXR.
Hold on, are you telling me I can now explore Viverse Worlds without having to download a separate app?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just hop into your browser, slip on your headset, and you're good to go. It's a game changer for accessibility. You're no longer limited to specific platforms like Quest or Rift. Any headset that supports WebXR can now become a portal to Viverse Worlds.
Wow, I love that. It's like opening up a whole new playground for VR enthusiasts, regardless of their preferred hardware. More options, more freedom, more fun.
Absolutely. And speaking of breaking down barriers and expanding access to XR, let's talk about Meta for education. They're making some serious strides in bringing VR and mixed reality into classrooms around the world.
I've been hearing a lot of buzz about their program. It's more than just providing headsets, right?
Right. They're creating a whole ecosystem for XR learning. They're offering schools and universities a comprehensive package that includes device management tools, a curated library of educational apps, and even training resources for teachers.
Oh, wow.
And they're making it more affordable with special pricing and flexible payment options.
It's fantastic to see them taking such a holistic approach, addressing not just the tech side of things, but also the pedagogical considerations.
Yeah.
After all, it's about empowering educators to create truly engaging and effective learning experiences using XR.
Exactly. And it seems to be working. Early reports indicate positive results in terms of student engagement, learning outcomes, and teacher satisfaction. It's a promising sign that XR is finding its rightful place in the classroom.
That's possum news.
It is.
But while we're on the topic of education, let's not forget about those innovative applications we discussed earlier, like Med Micromaps. It's not just about fun and games. XR is transforming how we learn about complex subjects.
Absolutely. Med Micromaps is a perfect example. Imagine a virtual reality environment where students can interact with bacteria, viruses, and cells, all rendered in stunning detail. And with the help of an AI-powered bacteriophage avatar, they can even get their questions answered in real time.
It's like having a personal microbiology tutor right there in the virtual world. And for students who learn best through hands-on experiences, this kind of immersive learning environment could be a game changer.
It could be.
Speaking of game changers, let's revisit those WEART TouchDIVER Haptic Gloves. I know you're still purring about those.
Oh, absolutely.
Just the thought of feeling virtual objects with realistic force feedback texture and even temperature, it's mind-blowing. It feels like we're on the cusp of a whole new era of immersive experiences.
I agree. And the implications for industries like healthcare and industrial training are enormous. Surgeons practicing complex procedures with lifelike tactile feedback, engineers manipulating virtual prototypes with a sense of touch. The possibilities are endless.
They are. And it's all thanks to the brilliant minds at companies like WEART who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible with XR. And let's not forget Knoxlabs, who are making these cutting-edge technologies more accessible with their demo kits and XR marketplace. They're playing a crucial role in connecting businesses and educational institutions with the right solutions.
They are.
But enough about software and gloves for now.
Yeah.
Let's talk hardware. Any exciting developments on that front?
Oh, you bet. Remember those rumors about Valve's Deckard headset? The ones Gabe Follower and John Degdelen have been teasing us with? Well, it looks like they might be launching sooner than we thought. Big shout out to those two for always keeping us informed.
I'm excited.
Me too. Word on the street is that Deckard could be hitting the shelves later this year with a price tag of around $1,200. It's shaping up to be a formidable contender in the VR market with wireless standalone capabilities, the power of SteamOS, and potentially even some compelling first-party games or demos to sweeten the deal.
And let's not forget those leaked models of the Roy controllers. Gamepad functionality in VR. That's a clever move that could bridge the gap between VR and traditional gaming, attracting a whole new generation of gamers.
For sure, the competition is heating up, and that's good news for consumers like us. More choices, more innovation, and hopefully more accessible price points down the line.
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But for now, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into XR news. We've covered a lot of ground today, from Meta's strategic moves to groundbreaking haptic technology and the exciting advancements in XR hardware.
It's been a perfectly stimulating deep dive into the ever-evolving world of XR. And as we've seen, the future is full of possibilities. From increased accessibility and inclusivity to mind-blowing immersive experiences, XR is poised to transform the way we live, work, and play.
That's all for this deep dive, fellow friends. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and don't forget to share your own perspectives on all things XR. We love hearing from you.
And remember, the XR journey is just beginning, so keep your whiskers twitching, your eyes peeled, and your minds open to all the amazing things that lie ahead. Until next time, meow and farewell.